I started to think, what if the beginning was a film? I can't help it. I'm still... Yeah. And what if it was something completely different? Like Amal and Hatem and I had been talking about the fact that there's a bridge in this piece between their individual story and like wider stories of other people that they know, that we know, that are the stories of the people who are separated but can still communicate through these technologies, and then the stories of the other people who their loved one is in Sydney and they can't, or not Sydney because it's not, but like, you know, like Tadmor or somewhere, and or their loved one has been disappeared, or their loved one has been killed, and like how there are these absences that what we're dealing with can't cross. How the, you know, the virtual will take you so far, but it can't substitute for the real body, and it can't cross those gaps where technology does not. It's not available.
Like what I like in one of the Valerie's videos,
yeah.
Amal was talking, was about like how for everyone Skype becomes like their body, and so when she actually goes from her story to generalizing everyone rather than those circles, like their circles.
Exactly. So then, so maybe it's interviews with Onur about Skyping, or we keep it focused on Istanbul as a place.
So what about this? We take 30 minutes and imagine what we have so far and the other materials we have somehow so far, and trying to put them storyboards in two different notebooks in parallel times, and then present them to each other.
What? So wait, you're going to storyboard your idea, I'll storyboard my idea, and then we show each other?
Yes.
Okay.
And would you say it's more difficult without being able to do this part, to plan this part together with them, or does it make it more easy if it's just two of you? Because, for example, this game of presenting each other's storyboards, would it make it more complicated if there were 4 instead of 2, or would you rather like it to have it 4 than 2?
I think we do both. Like we try to come up with something, and then that gets improvised. Like we do it with Hatem and Amal, and then see what comes out of that, and then go on like this also. I think one difficulty maybe that not that they're always available through Skype also. So when we present, like we have more time here, I think, to put together some line, and then to see if that works, and then with what is coming from the other side, then we change everything according to that.
I mean, you're seeing this bit with me and Deniz collaborating, but I spent 2 weeks in Istanbul with Hatem first, doing this basically, collaborating, creating material, putting things together. Then went to Paris for a week with Amal, and I'll be going there again afterwards, doing exactly the same thing again. So, I don't know, I feel like I'm like carrying a little suitcase full of everyone's ideas to the other people. And like what I'm now, you know, we came to work with Deniz here, and I was like, okay, look, here's everything that Hatem and Amal and I have been talking about also for the last like 6 months. Here's like all of this material, and then it's great having, in a way it's an interesting way because Deniz looks at this all afresh, and then I'll go back from here to Paris, show everything to Amal, and she'll have a new perspective on it. So you're only saying this bit of the collaboration, and so it looks like it's me and Deniz kind of, you know, drawing storyboards, but that's all come from like a similar process.
Yeah,
first between Hatem and Amal, who wrote the piece together, and then, you know. Yeah.
So it's also how the, let's call it work, how it's divided. It always divides between those who are remote and
and those who are present. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And yeah, I mean obviously it's a totally different thing when you're in the room with someone and when you're on Skype with them. Working over Skype it's harder to explain, it's harder to kind of communicate ideas. We were limited to this little frame rather than...
And also actually the time frame, because you have to stop, you need a break.
On Skype, yeah. It's exhausting, the Skype thing. But that's part of what the obstacle of the Skype is also something that is the medium that we're using to communicate this story. So that exhaustion just has to be factored into the performance as well. Yeah. That the audience will get exhausted after a while with Skype, and that we have to find other ways of telling the story. Also the Skype might fail. And we have nothing. And we have to call them on their telephones. We should try that.
By telephone.
It's a telephone play. Yeah.